What's up, everybody? Welcome to video show number 3, Jira and Nuzzy podcast. We're back here. It is Thursday, a little day early than usual. We wanted to get it going as soon as possible. We definitely like what we see so far from the first 2 videos. We're up over 500 views for the second video, which is awesome. 1,400 views for the first. That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Over 50 YouTube views.
50 YouTube views. And speaking of YouTube, we are up to 30 subscribers, which is good. Good, not great,
That's
you know,
good.
but we can get there. We're on.
That's what we look for. The subscriptions. The people interested in the new videos are getting, signing up for subscribing, and we really appreciate that, and we really want to promote that, and we're going to do a little giveaway.
Yeah, so we're at 30 subscribers now. We'd love to get to 50 as soon as possible. We definitely have some stuff we want to do in the future with the more subscribers we get. If we hit 50, we want to do a little giveaway. I want to give like a couple $10 gift cards away, okay? Probably 2 $10 gift cards, either Amazon gift cards or just, plain gift cards. Like the Visa gift cards, so basically cash for $10. So how you do it is if you have a Gmail account, you just go to YouTube, log in to youtube.com, log in with your Gmail account. It's real easy. Put your email password in and go to Jira and Nuzzy podcast. Click the subscribe button and you're in, and you're eligible for that free giveaway.
That's the key. You got to be signed into your Gmail account to like and subscribe.
We know it's easy on YouTube to just view anything without signing in, and we get it too. We do it ourselves, and so make sure you're signed in, hit that subscribe, and we appreciate everybody. Over 215 likes on the Facebook page, which is great. We'd like to get that number up too. Just click the like button. I've been sharing it in a couple pages. We've gotten some feedback from outside the Florida area, even up our families up north, in Jersey. I got some people out west that have liked the page, which is great. So we're trying to expand. So like we said, the big thing is YouTube. We want to get to 50 subscribers, do that giveaway for everybody.
2 giveaways.
2 $10 gift cards.
Go ahead and subscribe, please.
Thank you again. And so we want to start today's show off, we've been talking about the draft. We've been talking about the NFL a lot. It's a slow time in sports because, the NBA is not quite in the playoff push, but it kind of is. And the NFL, we're right about, almost a month and a half out from the draft, maybe 2 months from the draft. I want to start off with a little local talk with our Miami Heat. We're both Heat fans. I've been a Heat fan since I moved here in 96. Followed the Nets a little bit, but every night before you went to school, you had a 7:30, 7 o'clock Heat game. Watch it till I went to bed.
Eric Reed.
Eric Reed, and Tony Ferrantino's not there
Jack
anymore.
Ramsey.
Dr. Jack.
Leonard.
It was just it's a fun experience to watch a Heat game with that telecast. And, I remember watching Caron Butler team, Lamar Odom, when Dwayne Wade just came into the league, those teams were, Brian Grant, those teams were fun to watch. And
I'll tell you how old I am. I'm going to date myself. I remember the Glenn Rice teams. I remember the day Alonzo Mourning got traded to the Heat. Remember that well. So
that was
go back even to those teams.
Tim Hardaway, Fashawn Leonard, P.J. Brown,
Thunder Dan Marley.
Yeah, so great teams, fun to watch, and we've gotten to we had the LeBron years, the 4 years of LeBron, Chris Bosh, and D Wade, which for South Florida, for the city of Miami, was just an amazing 4 years. It was so much fun. You had Shaq back in the day. When they won the title in 2006 and Wade's second year in the league. So I was all set to come on the show today, Pat, and just absolutely demolish our Miami Heat for the complacency they've showed over the last couple years since LeBron James. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Flash himself does what he did last night. Playing the Warriors, back-to-back champions, should be their 4 back-to-back champions. And he goes and hits that crazy 3 to win the game to beat the Warriors at home. A little more Miami magic. It is his house. It'll always be his house. There's no denying that. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's this, he's that. And he said he didn't want the whole the Kobe treatment. But then he goes and quotes Kobe, the Mamba mentality, and he doesn't want the farewell tour. Yeah. But that's what he's getting, and he does the one last dance thing. And to me, it was like, okay, don't say you don't want it and then do it, okay? I've been very critical of Dwayne Wade over the years. He is a big part of why I'm a Miami Heat fan, but I have been very critical of him at the same time. If you look at Dwayne Wade's career, he's got the most blocks as a guard. He's got all the numbers are there. But as far as a winning standpoint, they talk about Dwayne Wade being a winner, okay? Well, if you look at over the years, Dwayne Wade has made the conference finals 0 times when his team doesn't have LeBron James or Shaquille O'Neal on it. Okay? Yes, every superstar needs help. Every superstar can't do it alone. Well, that was over the whole Jordan-LeBron debate, you know? But you look at the Miami Heat, his second year in the league, he won the Finals MVP. They got to the Finals. They won it with Shaq, okay? The very first year they had Shaq, they made it to the Conference Finals, lost to the Pistons. Then, from then until LeBron, the Miami Heat did not make it past the second round, okay? And then, so my thing is I'm not going to sit here and tell you Dwayne Wade's overrated by any means. I'm not going to say that. But from a winning standpoint and calling him a winner, you know, he needed help, okay? So I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash from it. I welcome it. Please come at me with it. You know, let's talk about it. Now, let's talk about today's Miami Heat, okay? They're 27-33 now after that win last night against the Golden State, okay? This year, they have lost at home now to the last place in the league, Phoenix Suns, at 12-50. The Suns lost 17 straight games coming into that game, okay? They are 0-3 against the Atlanta Hawks, who other than Trae Young, have nobody. Trae Young's, by the way, been playing unbelievably for Atlanta this year. Then you go to the Bulls. They lost by 16 at home to the Bulls, okay? So they preach this culture, they preach all this stuff, you know, winning mentalities, but they've been downright mediocre since LeBron left. And as a Miami Heat fan, I'm kind of sick of it. You know, Pat Riley is the godfather. We're all sitting around, okay, Pat, this is the year we signed somebody. This is the year we signed somebody. And we haven't gotten anybody. 2 or 3 years ago, you look at the big free agent names. Kevin Durant, before he went to Golden State. Russell Westbrook was a free agent. Kawhi Leonard was, you know, talked about shaking up, making it in a trade. And we went and re-signed. Now, first off, before I get into this, I got to give credit to my man Mike Pena, okay? Mike Pena said this at the very beginning of that offseason, said, if we sign Dion Waiters, if we sign Hassan Whiteside to all these contracts, we're looking at mediocrity for the next 3-4 years, and he nailed it on the head. Now, my friend Mark Fiol and I, we were talking about it. We're like, back of our heads, we thought it, but we didn't want to admit it. We're Heat fans, you know. We think, all right, we're gonna make it. We're gonna do something. Well, we haven't done anything. So, Mike, for you, you know, you nailed it. Okay. Gives Dion Waiters a bunch of money. Gives Hassan Whiteside a bunch of money. You know, a max deal. Goran Dragic, great player. He's getting paid. These guys are getting paid. The Heat don't have a bunch of cap space. And we're sitting at 27-33. I mean, you're paying significant money to these guys, and it's just not working out. Eric Spoelstra has been praised by Pat Riley because he's been there since he was like a ball boy or whatever, but he has not delivered other than when he had LeBron James. So my thing is when is it going to end? When is Pat Riley going to go, okay, you know what? This isn't working. He says he's not retiring until he gets a championship. Well, the way the Heat are going right now, there's no championship coming to Miami anytime soon. So they need to get, you know, D Wade's done after this year. The whole, you know, relationship with Dwayne Wade and the whole, you know, parade for that is done after this year. Dion Waiters still getting paid. You got to cut him. You got to do something. All right, they got to start from scratch. They should be tanking. They should have been tanking. They can't even lose right.
No,
can't even lose right. Last night you got
Miami Dolphins.
I mean, you got the Warriors in town. Lose that game. No one in that stadium is going to be mad at you for losing. They're there to see Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, those guys, DeMarcus Cousins. They're there to see that and see the game, and then go ahead and lose. They can't even lose right. Josh Richardson, you had a chance at Jimmy Butler this offseason or during the season even. And their whole thing is we don't want to trade Josh Richardson. You give Justice Winslow, who has been massively underachieving maybe until this season when they've moved him to point guard, and you give him a long-term deal.
Yeah, they didn't really
They didn't give him a lot, but I mean...
Well, I mean, they're definitely not headed in the right direction. They've kind of become the Miami Dolphins. They can't tank right. They're kind of stuck in mediocrity. Probably going to pick 10 or 11 and what's really going to be one of the best NBA drafts in a long time. Now, as far as Dwayne Wade goes, I've had some issues with him too recently. Definitely, his ego is definitely grown since he, you know, was that shy 19-year-old from Chicago coming out of Marquette. But you know, you say he hasn't made the conference finals without LeBron and Shaq, but look at the sample size. You know, how many years did he play without those guys? And two, LeBron James doesn't go to Miami if Dwayne Wade's not in Miami. Shaquille O'Neal doesn't go to Miami. I know he got traded, but he, you know, had a chance to kind of pick where he wanted to go. Doesn't go there if Dwayne Wade wasn't there. So you got to look at it that way as well. And he's been a clutch player in the playoffs. I would say he's probably been more clutch than LeBron.
And he definitely has. He definitely has. It's just getting there without
now
those
his
guys.
last couple of years. I mean, gosh, he's made a ton of money. His whole thing is, a couple of years ago when he left Miami, what was ugly, bashed the organization, bashed Riley. Bulls overpaid for him. That didn't work out.
Pat Riley was proven right in that scenario.
Absolutely.
That he was not worth the money. You come back at our terms, they let him go, and then he goes to Cleveland, and he looked like he was 150 years old in Cleveland.
So. But let's. He still goes down as the greatest basketball
He's definitely the best Miami Heat player of all time. But for the sake of my rant today, it's time to move on.
Absolutely.
Luckily, it's the last year.
Absolutely.
I know.
And Spoelstra's got.
And I think you got to move on from Eric Spoelstra.
Something on Riley? Has he got some dirt? Because I think he should have been fired years and years ago. And I would even argue if he got fired during the LeBron run, that he probably would have had another title.
Right, and the only reason he's still around, in my opinion, is because of the LeBron years. I mean, they're talking about getting rid of Luke Walton right now already. Yeah, granted, LeBron's he's not in his prime anymore.
Spoelstra was very young. He started as a video coordinator with the Heat, and Riley, he moved his way up. So I think Riley's extra loyal to him because his guy. But definitely time to move on.
Definitely time to move on. They should have made a trade for Jimmy Butler. They didn't. You got to get one guy in your.
If they got Jimmy Butler though, and then they're a 6th seed.
Well, but then you got a guy that you can. Okay, Jimmy Butler's in Miami. Maybe I want to go play there. Right now, who the hell's in Miami other than South Beach? I mean, nobody.
Guys will always want to go to Miami if they're free agents. Because of the weather, because of the no state income tax. So, I would say Riley. Let's give him another year or two. I still think he'll get a couple guys, and
I mean, you say everybody.
This is the longest Riley's gone since he's been running things in Miami. I think without the Heat being a relevant or a championship contender.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's been a rough couple years, and hopefully they get it going. We'll switch gears though. We'll talk about we touched on the draft a little bit. Kyler Murray is in the news as he always is. I mean, there's rumblings about the Cardinals. Maybe wanting to draft him. Cliff Kingsbury is very high on him. He's said it. High on him. So I mean, it's.
I remember when he entered the draft. I talked with you and my buddy Peter up in Jersey, and said, "Yeah, probably be a first rounder." I don't know how high though. Then top 10 pick. He said top 10. I said, nah, I don't think he's top 10. Now he's being talked about as number 1 overall pick, and there's a good chance he could go number 1. Talk about Cliff Kingsbury. Obviously, it's that coaching tree. Lincoln Riley, coach under Kingsbury. So it's that same offense that Kingsbury's going to bring to the desert in Arizona. Now they got Josh Rosen. What do you do with Josh Rosen? Do you give up on him after a year? I know he looked terrible as a rookie, but so did Jared Goff.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Josh Rosen did not have a good rookie year last year, but then again, he is playing in Arizona where it's like Larry Fitzgerald is there, but David Johnson doesn't look the same.
Well, he was hurt.
He got hurt. Well, he got hurt 2 years ago, missed the whole season, but last year I don't know.
It wasn't the same last year.
They did pay him.
Offensive line is in shambles.
Yeah, so the team is not looking well, and you have to think, okay, well, is Kyler Murray with that same team just going to automatically make it a contender? No, probably not in the first year. But the thing is what do you do with Josh Rosen? You can't keep Josh Rosen if you draft Kyler Murray. Josh Rosen didn't get drafted number 10 overall to be a backup the very
next season.
What do you get
for Josh Rosen? I know the Giants kind of like him. Could you call the Giants?
Could call the Giants. Could call Broncos. I mean, who knows? I mean, I personally still think you can get a late first-round pick for Josh Rosen just for the potential, and he's only played 1 year, and he's got 1 year under his belt. And like we said, Jared Goff had that 1 year, that terrible first year, and then obviously Sean McVay was a big reason why he's had success in the last couple of years.
He's the reason.
He is the reason he's taken off probably. But I mean, it's going to be interesting, man. I mean, every day we hear different reports about Kyler Murray. I feel like he's went from, like you said, second or third round. The next day he's high second. Next day he's late for every single day. Oh, yeah. And now, boom! Right, all of a sudden he's the number one
top.
pick.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're Dwayne Haskins, you got to be like, man.
Well, that's the thing. What happens if Murray goes 1? Now the Giants, Jaguars, possibly the Broncos, all these other teams are going to be frantic. They're going to be calling San Francisco. They're going to want them to 2 to get Haskins.
Yeah.
Don't rule out the quarterbacks going 1 and 2. Everyone's saying it's not a great quarterback draft. It might not be great, but potentially I think both guys are very good. But they're getting buzz. And,
it's crazy.
All it takes is 1 or 2 teams to fall in love with these guys.
And the more...
God, can you imagine that if Haskins and Murray go 1 and 2 and Bosa drops to 3? He's been talked about as just about as a lock, a number 1 pick, and all of a sudden he might not even go number 2. Now, San Francisco, I got to think, if he's there at number 2, I mean, they'd have to get blown away with a trade offer to trade out of that spot.
That's a match made in heaven for them. They're definitely he's number 1 on their draft board. He's number 1 on many people's draft boards. Not mine, I can tell you that.
Arizona,
he is, but he isn't.
Now Arizona too. They're going to be running a 3-4. So Bosa, while he can play outside linebacker in the 3-4, he's a perfect 4-3 end. You know, do you really want to stand him up? He's a little bit stiff. It's a natural end, so. Too, that could be a factor, but I'll tell you what, as a San Francisco 49er fan, boy, if he's available at 2 and you have a chance to get him, that'd be a huge coup for the Niners. But it's gonna be a fun draft.
It's a win, yeah.
Usually, you have a clear-cut number 1 guy. And we thought we did with Bosa, but now with Murray being thrown in the mix and Josh Allen too, I mean, there's. It's going to be a fun next couple months leading up to the draft. And
it's a win-win for the Niners because, like you said, you're sitting at 2, Bosa will land in your lap, or you're totally fine taking Josh Allen too. So the Niners, absolutely. It's kind of like the same situation when they were into a couple years ago. When and then the Bears did that trade with them with Trubisky to get up there, and it's kind of the same situation. They don't need a quarterback. There's teams right behind them that desperately do need a quarterback. Yeah. And so
you got to think the Giants are sweating bullets now because Murray goes.
For sure.
If
Murray goes, Haskins isn't there at 6 for them if they don't make a trade.
I don't think so.
Because someone's going to trade up. Right. Already know John Gruden wants to trade. He said he came out. He wanted to trade his picks. He's looking for he's got 3. So will he trade that number 4? I don't know, but if there's teams calling him and want to swap positions, I mean the Raiders need a lot. So John Gruden could end up with multiple first-round picks in next year's draft.
Well, he's got 2 first rounds already for next year.
And so that's right. So he can end up in the same spot.
We talked about it last show. It's a fun time to be a Raider fan. Are they going to be good next year? I don't know, but they're definitely going to be fun to watch this offseason with Mike Mayock, the former NFL Network draft guru, and John Gruden running things. You got those 3 first-round picks. They got some cap room. It's going to be an exciting team to watch. They're definitely going to be active.
Yes,
definitely going to be active.
We go back to
and I think we want to touch on Antonio Brown now too. That situation's starting to kind of clear up a little bit. Kyle Shanahan came out and said the 49ers are not interested in Antonio Brown.
Which is a surprise. You thought that was the main. He said he wanted to play there. Jerry Rice is like, we want to go get him.
I'm definitely surprised that they didn't maybe pursue it. I didn't think it was a slam dunk just because he kind of doesn't fit into what they're trying to do there. He's a little bit too much for what they like in the locker room. They don't like the big rah-rah kind of guys, and he definitely hasn't helped himself being in the news the last couple weeks. So, but I definitely think, God, you got to take a look at it. An unbelievable receiver like that who wants to go play for your organization, and you kind of not even interested.
Thanks, but no thanks. Yeah. Well, and that hurts the Steelers too because now they can't really use the Niners as leverage. You know, before when the Niners or when Jerry Rice was saying, "Oh, we want him. He wants to play here." But Steelers are like, great, now we can tell teams, well, the Niners are offering this, or the Niners want, you got to beat the Niners, and now they're
Steelers
totally out of it.
Came out and flat out said there's only 3 teams.
3 teams? And they said there's no way they trade him in the AFC North, and there's no way they trade him to the New England Patriots. Yep. So now the Broncos were another team. There was rumblings, we talked about it last week, the swapping of the first-round picks, adding a second or a third. As a Bronco fan, you go and do that move. We're a mediocre team. We're a mediocre team with Joe Flacco still. I don't care what anyone says. You lost Demaryius Thomas in a trade. Emmanuel Sanders is banged up. We just picked up that option, though. That's huge. And picked up the options on him and Derek Wolfe. So now where's the money going to come from? So that puts a damper on it. That might show the hand of the Broncos saying, we're not interested.
I'm going to throw out 2 teams. One, people have talked about the Arizona Cardinals. They have the cap room, and boy, if they go out and draft Murray.
Go get Murray an option. Mm-hmm.
But the team that I really think makes sense, and I haven't really seen mentioned too much, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'll tell you why. They got the money. They just hired Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians is 60-plus years old. He wants to win now. He's all in with Jameis Winston. Mm-hmm. Okay. Deshaun Jackson wants out of Tampa. So you need another speedy receiver to pair up with Mike Evans. Get Antonio Brown, Florida native. Bruce Arians coached him in Pittsburgh. He was his position coach and his offensive coordinator. No state income tax. I just think the Buccaneers need to make a move. They got the money. Keep an eye on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for Antonio Brown. I really think. And all of a sudden there with Bruce Arians coach and run that offense, him and Mike Evans, You might have something there.
I mean, that would be an amazing fit. I mean, James, like you said, it's all about Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
I personally don't think he's the guy.
I don't either.
I think he's going to show this year that he's not once and for all. But Bruce Arians says he's committed to him for right now.
But boy, you give him Mike Evans and Antonio Brown
and OJ Howard now as the tight end. He's made strides, and you throw a little running game out in there.
Wow.
I mean, they're in the NFC, as we know, every year in the NFC, it's been a different team every year.
NFC North or NFC South, and NFC South. That's a strong division.
It is for sure.
Can you imagine the firepower?
And if you throw the Tampa Bay Bucks in there, I mean, that division is loaded from top to bottom, and I wouldn't want to be playing in that division. I wouldn't want to be a fan of that division because, the Saints dominated it last year, but, I mean, the Bucks coming up, the Falcons are amazingly talented team. You got to figure they'll figure it out and they'll be back. I mean,
same with the Panthers.
And the Panthers,
Cam Newton's having shoulder surgery. He just wasn't right last year. If he can get right, and they're a team potentially too that could look at Antonio Brown too.
Jump back to the draft, and I know we've debated Nick Bosa and how, is he the clear-cut number one pick? We both have him number one in our mocks a couple weeks ago, just by default. I know we have two totally different stances on Nick Bosa. And
you said to me the other day, we were watching Zion, with the shoe incident, he hurt his knee, and you said to me what? He should sit out. I said he should sit out. The rest of the year. Yes. And for months you've been on Bosa saying he's selfish because he sat
out the rest of the year. That's correct.
What's the difference?
So here's my theory on that. Okay, Zion Williamson has played maybe 15, 20 games. Okay, he could have played 15, 20 minutes. He was going to be the clear-cut number one. Sure. Now, okay, I know Nick Bosa even sitting out last year, showing, he's the clear-cut number one. He's not the clear-cut number one, but he is. Josh Allen's there. A bunch of edge rushers.
He's top three pick at worst.
Yeah. Now, if I'm an NFL franchise, okay, I'm looking at the Houston Texans, okay, and Jadeveon Clowney, okay. He missed 2 games his junior year. He missed 2 games. There was rumblings that he should sit out. And wondering if he was, if he even cared about football. Okay, not saying that Nick Bosa doesn't care about football, but Jadeveon Clowney only had 3 sacks in that last season because of, not caring. He was banged up. They said he was out of shape, and he took a long time to get going. I mean, in the first couple of years of his career, he got hurt his rookie year. He did get hurt, but that was also a conditioning question, this and that. Now, I don't hear any of that out of the Nick Bosa camp, conditioning questions, or if he likes football. But if I'm an NFL franchise and I'm looking at a guy that could have came back for his team, okay? He could have came back. He could have played. Yes.
But he was hurt.
He was hurt, but by week 3, 4, they were saying he was questionable. He was going to come back, and then they said, you know what? I'm just going to sit out. To me, I don't want a guy like that. Okay, that's me. I don't want a guy like that. And the NBA and the NFL, it's totally different. I understand the injury risks in the NFL, but in the NFL, it's about the locker room. It's about, fighting for your teammates, this and that. And I think the only reason I'm going to go out here and say this, and maybe I'm way off base, but I don't think I am, Nick Bosa is the number 1 overall pick because of his last name. You got Josh Allen, who's just as good. Ja'Kai Polite, in my opinion, just as good. Sweat, just as good. Farrell, all these guys to me are just as good. No, yeah, I'm crazy.
Bosa was the number 1 rated high school football player, okay? He came in Ohio State, true freshman. Most guys at Ohio State redshirt. Comes in true freshman, makes an impact. Sophomore year, dominates. He was dominating his junior year. Top college program. This guy double, triple. He was a marked man, and he still managed to make plays. He is legit. He's better than his brother. He's better than his brother.
That's not saying much. Because I don't think the Bosa family... I don't know what it is.
The guy was a top 5 pick, and he was a 12 and a half sacks.
Yeah. And then what happened playoff time? Where'd he go?
Well,
where is he?
I think Tom Brady's made a lot of guys
Anybody see him?
Kind of look silly.
Did he do anything against Baltimore? Anybody see him?
So
Melvin Ingram dominated that game.
What do you think of Devin Bush from Michigan? He stud, if he was a little bit taller, bigger, surefire top 10 picks, talking about late first round. Yeah. You like him?
Devin Bush?
Yeah.
I think he's a good
you
player.
Draft him?
Would I draft him?
Yeah.
Not at 1.
I mean, would you draft him in the second round?
In the second round, if he's there in the second round, sure. Right. Depending on team needs and all that stuff.
So he sat out his team's bowl game. He was healthy.
Yeah. He sat out the bowl game. That's the difference.
He was healthy.
But he sat out the bowl game, a meaningless bowl game. Bowl game.
The team was still trying to win.
Yeah, but the meaningless bowl game and sitting out an entire season when Ohio State was still
he didn't. Yeah, he just didn't
top
sit
5 team.
Sit on the sidelines. there was nothing wrong. He had a surgery. He went to go see a world-renowned surgeon who said, "Yeah, you need to have surgery on your leg."
Right.
You know, so
I guess
it's not, there was. It's not like there was no injury there.
Yeah.
He had a legit injury, and he had surgery. And Urban Meyer and everyone, all his teammates came out and defended him. And I haven't heard any rumblings to this day. You would have heard rumblings from teammates saying, "I don't like him. I haven't heard any rumblings thus far."
I will admit, this is clearly
out
all
of the
just
locker
me.
room.
This is just me.
But then you say, with Zion, you have no problem. I just feel it's a double standard. Now, you can argue football is maybe more of a team sport.
100% more of a team sport
than basketball.
Because the NBA, as we know, is all one-on-one now.
The kid's 21 years old. He's got a chance to make, millions and millions of dollars.
Yep.
And he had a legit injury. Have the surgery, shut it down. You're going to make, obviously his best football is ahead of him. I mean, we talk about Jalen Smith. Remember what happened to Jalen Smith? Now, luckily, Jalen Smith's been able to kind of recover and he's slowly getting back to the form. But he broke his leg in that bowl game. But you got a lot. I mean, I didn't hear you bash Leonard Fournette for sitting out the last 3 games for LSU in the bowl game.
No, well,
you're a big Leonard Fournette fan.
I am a Fournette fan, but look at him. He's been banged up his whole career.
Okay, sure, yeah, but that's a side issue. You could argue he's soft or injury prone, but you had no problem. You were raving about him last year.
No,
Set out the last 3 games in the bowl game.
Yeah. So to me, sitting out a bowl game or the last couple games after your team
what did Buzzzz do to you?
That's the thing. He didn't do anything. Okay, that's the thing. I'm here something. I can't tell you. I'm trying to find it because Joey Bosa to me, since he got in the league, maybe it's because he plays for the Chargers.
You don't like white
I don't know.
Ends.
That's what it is. There we go. That's it. It's all that. It's 2019. Everything's about that, right? No, absolutely not. Okay, listen. To me, it's just like we said. We always gotta just gotta wait.
Urban Meyer hate. You don't like Urban Meyer, so somehow they kind of
bingo. You nailed it. Okay, Urban Meyer. Going back to his Florida days. There it is. You found it for me now. We're just going to have to wait and see. I think Josh Allen's going to be 10 times the pro.
If you were a Bronco fan and the Broncos are picking one or
Josh
two
Allen.
take Bosa.
Josh Allen.
They took Bosa.
I'd be disappointed.
No.
I'd be disappointed. I have to say that. It's my stance. I got to stick with it. We're definitely going to wait and see on that. We definitely want to get into our mock. We're going to wait till probably the next show to finish them up.
Post-combine.
Yeah, post-combine. Well, I mean, we have our mocks set, but, just to go ahead, everybody does their 1.0, their 2.0, their 25,382.0.
Yeah, we're not going to do 10 mock drafts.
I mean, nobody wants to hear us do 10 mock drafts. I mean, nobody does. I mean, I don't even want to hear us do that. Yeah, so we're going to wait till after the combine. We're going to enjoy the combine. We're going to enjoy the rest of the offseason. Free agency starts very soon, March 13th. Is when the new season kicks off, when that Joe Flacco deal goes through. Nick Foles, officially a free agent now. The Philadelphia Eagles clearly doing right by Nick Foles, which was a very classy move by them. They could have definitely franchise tagged him again if they wanted to. Try to get a trade. Definitely you're not getting what you want out of Nick Foles at that price. It's just not going to happen. But it was still a classy move nonetheless to let him walk and be a free agent. Won him a Super Bowl. Now you look at he's just ripe for the picking now.
Jacksonville Jaguar,
you would think so. I mean, unless the Jags are committed to try and going after Kyler Murray, one of these quarterbacks in the draft, and trading up to Oakland or trading up to San Francisco.
I got to think Tom Coughlin. He's a guy who's going to want to win now. And Doug Marone's on the hot seat. I got to think they're going to want a proven guy. And I think Foles, Jacksonville, Miami. I think those two destinations make sense. Yeah. Miami, of course, Miami would love to go 8-8. So
I think Miami we all know. I don't know if you saw my page a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Like in the last 172 games, the Miami Dolphins are 89, or whatever it is. Like they're
the
quick
mediocrity,
mediocre. Like definite, and you know what? Anytime they're 9-7, 10-6, they'll just love to lose in the wild card game. That would be. That's the ceiling for the Miami Dolphins since Dan Marino left, it seems. But to me, I think it has to be Jacksonville. If it's anybody but Jacksonville, we would be blown away. Even Miami. I mean, Miami. That's the second most logical. Cincinnati. Are they committed to Andy Dalton? I mean, they were committed to Marvin Lewis for 17 years or whatever it was, not winning a playoff game. So I mean, I'm sure Andy Dalton's got about 10 more years. So it's gonna be interesting to see where Nick Foles.
There's a rumor that's been kind of buzzing around. I think Colin Cowherd threw it out. I don't know if you heard about saying that he's got in for Russell Wilson to the Giants.
Yeah, so Russell, that was another thing. Yeah, I saw that Russell Wilson might be the heir apparent to Eli Manning. He supposedly wants out of Seattle. I don't know.
And New York because of his wife, Sierra
and everything. And Russell Wilson,
and he wants a post-TV career.
Right, which he'll
get either way.
Which he'll get no matter where he's at. He can live in Minnesota, he'll still get it. I mean, that's why I feel like the whole LA LeBron deal was just a big sham, and that's what he wants. But anyway, he definitely will have that TV career. Russell Wilson's not going to give you anything. You can ask him about it for the next year. He's not going to give you anything anyway. So I don't know where Cowherd could have gotten that. Obviously, he has a little better sources than us, probably.
But I feel like it's kind of he threw a Hail Mary out.
Maybe, and it would be an interesting thing because the Giants are looking to draft a guy.
The Giants they're young, they're rebuilding. I don't really.
Seems like Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll have a really good relationship. So I don't think Russell Wilson's going anywhere, and I don't think Seattle wants him to go anywhere. I mean, he's been to 2 Super Bowls, he's won 1,
and he really showed how valuable he is these last couple years, where Seattle's losing all these guys, and he still managed to have great seasons. With losing Golden Tate, losing Jimmy Graham, Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
God, and he's kept that franchise
kept it together.
stable.
I mean, last year
team.
Last year we thought they were going to be bottom of the barrel in the NFC West, and look at them, they went to the playoffs. Should have probably beat the Cowboys in that
Russell
wild
Wilson's
card
really
game.
gained my respect and admiration.
He really has,
He's a real deal.
and that's a big reason why Kyler Murray's jumping up the charts.
Absolutely.
It's like he's not. He's small. He's
Russell
this.
Wilson.
Russell Wilson, Baker Mayfield. These guys are small.
Russell Wilson has made it possible for these quarterbacks to be considered high picks, and Baker Mayfield as well. So
I mean, 10 years ago, you would have said, "There's this guy's not even going to go in the or not even be drafted." And that's another thing too. We talk about going back to my Broncos and John Elway and how I think he's just so out of touch when it comes to drafting quarterbacks. He says, the big main issue with Kyler Murray is his size. I said, well, yeah, maybe 15 years ago. And he goes and makes that huge trade to trade up for Paxton Lynch, who's like 6'9". He drafts Brock Osweiler, who's like 7'8". And look how good those guys have been.
Basketball team.
I mean, I just don't know what the hell's going on in Denver right now. And I love John Elway. He's my idol. He's my favorite Bronco of all time. His favorite quarterback of all time. But as far as the GM goes, other than drafting Von Miller, which was a no-brainer, and getting Peyton Manning to come there, I mean, the Broncos would have been he'd be gone by now. I mean, I know Pat Bowlen has the utmost confidence in him to run that franchise, and his wife, and while Bowlen's sick, he's pretty much running the show. But I mean, time's ticking, and that's why that Joe Flacco deal was a desperation move. And Elvis Dumervil came out and said that, a former Bronco, former Raven, said that was a desperation move 100%, and that's why Antonio Brown's still kind of in the mix for them, is because he's got to win. He's got to win with Vic Fangio, and he's got to win in the next year or two.
I remember Vic Fangio, 59 years old.
59-year-old coach. I mean, he's been around for a while. He's a defensive-minded coach. I would have preferred an offensive-minded coach, but wasn't much out there. But and we got your guy from San Francisco. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting season. Anything else you wanted to hit on, Pat? I think we hit on everything we wanted to this show.
We'll definitely do the post-combine mock next week. We'll have the full mock draft. We'll definitely break down the combine. And I think a lot of these NFL moves will start kind of becoming a little more clear as we get into the new league year.
Ooh, we can't wait.
13th,
oh, so close. 2 weeks away. Can't wait.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep you up to tune. Obviously, on our page, we try to keep you around in the loop with the news around the league. We'll keep posting. And the big thing, please, YouTube, like, and subscribe. Can't say that enough. Please, we're going to be doing the 2 giveaways.
30 subscribers. We want to get to 50, okay?
2 subscribers will get two $10, or each person will get a $10 gift card.
Yes.
And then for the mock draft, as we get closer to the draft, we're going to do a big contest for that. The winner who gets the most picks right, we still haven't decided, will be 10,
I think we're going to do 15, only because the top 10, well, then again, you guys do have trades and stuff so we'll make a final decision when we're a month out from the draft, officially a month out, which is like 3 weeks away, would be a month out or so. That's when we'll make a show. It would be either the top 10 or top 15. Most right, get $50.
$50 gift card.
$50 gift card, Outback Steakhouse, okay? I mean, everybody loves Outback.
No rules, just right.
That's right. And I remember, all that. And $50 Outback gift card, top 15.
We might do a show, too, at Outback, a live
We're trying to figure that out. We're trying to see if we can do it. We definitely want to do the question and answer
we're gonna do a
show,
live
one.
Where, you can send questions in.
I think it'll be closer to when the draft starts, probably.
And free agency.
We're kind of doing this on the go. I mean, we wanted to start it 5 years ago, but we're doing it now, and we're doing it on the go. Yeah, 20 years ago, right? But it's been a lot of fun. We definitely got a couple people text me yesterday. What happened to the show? Why are we doing? We had some time.
Feeling.
It's pretty cool.
People text you, or you go somewhere, going to work. When's the next show? Or hey, you talked about this.
Hey, I saw you on your show yesterday. It was awesome.
Great
so
feeling.
It's pretty cool, man.
We really, really appreciate the support and the interest you guys have given, and kind of a wide variety too of listeners, which has been cool.
It is. All age brackets, female, male, everybody.
And, so that's pretty neat. And again, we really thank you for the support. Like I said, the Facebook views are tremendous. The likes and views, 1,400 on the first show, 600 on the second. But the YouTube
is huge. We keep talking about it. So get their Gmail account, log into your Gmail, email password, go to the Giranuzzi podcast page, click subscribe, and you're eligible for that free giveaway. And then, like we said, we got the one coming up for the draft. We're going to sign off here. Pat, always a pleasure, buddy.
Absolutely.
Can't wait till the next show. Guys, tune in next week for the next show. And remember,
Asking All Prime.
Asking All Prime. Peace.